All right, hello, hello, hello. All right, we'll see how it goes today. We'll see if I have enough of a voice to complete all of it. Sorry about yesterday. Obviously, voice, one thing. Kip being sick. Melissa's down today. I actually just ran right back in there and dumped him. She's still asleep. So it's the problem with little kids. If you have them, you know what I mean. They're sick. You do your best to comfort them, and then they come out the other end, and you have whatever they have. So yeah, it's like you love them, but at the same time, it's like, why are you spreading? Why are you spreading diseases to everybody? Yeah. So we're back. We'll see what we can do today. Like I said, cough drops. I'm getting tired of the. It's too early in the season to be tired of cherry, but I feel like by Friday I'm gonna be like, that's it. We're going with the lemon again. Like I feel like that's like if you want to make $1 trillion, because you can't say a million anymore because a million's nothing. But if you want to make $1 trillion, make it an entire line of different and excellent tasting cough drops, right? I feel like with the way people are now, I mean, think about the options, right? We have menthol, we have lemon, we have cherry, and that's it. Yes, we could get some savory ones. I don't know. I feel like if they could have protein powders and 97 different flavors, I feel like cough drops should be the same way. Anyway, there's been some decent movement in the last 24 hours. Yen. Yen, I don't want to say there's strength there or weakness there. It's kind of hard to decipher right now, but the one clear symbol that we do have is that the pound is moving. And again, dollar's basically going down. Pound is moving up. The data from yesterday, horrible. And really horrible across the board. I know exactly, Jeff. That's what I need, right? But I live in a state that is, during like presidential votes, it's like 96%, 96% Democratic. But yet we're going to be the only Democratic state that does not have recreational usage here. So, yeah, I don't know why. We can have casinos, right? We can have casinos on school grounds. You can gamble on the schools here, right? In Maryland, but God forbid that weed that grows. And again, we could just jump right over to DC and you can give. Again, because people are generous when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? DC, I think it's you can have someone. I forget how many plants it is you're allowed to have it yourself, but you're allowed to give away, like, whether 2 pounds or 6 pounds of the funky flower, right? Because that's what people do. They just give pounds of it away, right? Yeah, you can give it away, gifts, right? Holiday gifts. It's definitely 2 pounds. I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're allowed to have 6 plants and you can give up to 2 pounds away a year. I'm like, what is this? Like a winery? You give away samples to your friends? Come on. But no, Maryland. No such thing in Maryland, right? The side vote's basically one side of the aisle, although Hogan was a big sore for the Democrats. A Republican governor in Maryland was kind of like a what? And don't worry, you'll learn all about Hogan. I said he was running for president 4 years ago, and he's like, we haven't made our official announcement yet, but we've looked into it. It's like, sucker. You saw it coming 2 years ago when you started talking about saving Americans and not Marylanders. It's pretty easy. Writing was on the wall. But anyway, yesterday, flash data across the board. Now, big one we're looking at was the flash manufacturing. And we talked about being 51, but could it actually breach 50? And it did. You may say, well, it's only 49.9. Well, 49.9 is below 50. That shows a contraction of the manufacturing sector. Services supposed to go up, still contracting, but barely. That got worse as well, too. So again, this is definitely more of those signs heading down towards a recession. This morning, again, German data actually pretty decent, not bad. You gotta like that. And then we have U.S. data coming in the next 20-something minutes, and it's consumer confidence. And consumer confidence, it's showing that it's going down a little bit. Richmond manufacturing also going down, and then Waller speaking later today. Kind of those things, looking at the markets, and again, there was, a bit of that Japanese intervention. We talked about it in like an hour after we got off on Friday. It did, we saw it come in. And then there's been talk about it yesterday. They're talking about it. How do you handle this intervention and all that kind of stuff. We did see it come in Friday, and there was that move from like 152 all the way down to like 146 or whatever it was. Quite a high bit of movement. I love this. Thank you for the introduction. And there's like no color next. They don't even color it anymore. It's like, it happened, but it's not a big deal. So we did see that, and now we're kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen with raises. And I still personally don't believe there's going to be any change. I still think they go 7.5, 7.5. Regardless of what anybody says ahead of time, I think that's what's going to happen. Um, I think they are so worried about making another mistake again. And they said that not only are we going to go to where we're even, but we're going to go past. And then we're going to hold it there for a while. So I don't necessarily feel that it's really going to change the trajectory. I mean, yeah, this is low, but right now the consumer is still spending. We haven't really seen it. I mean, some of the earnings numbers are going weird, right? But the reason the earnings have gone weird is because of currency, not really because the consumer is just not spending anymore. So a little bit different there, right? But right now in the overnight, you see 102 down. Again, that's a pretty substantial move for the Aussie, for the euro, the dollar, yen. Dollar Swiss 41 is not bad. Dollar CAD, again, oil has been kind of a thing, although oil is, I'd say, stumbling a little bit. But I would say this is more of a dollar play right now, not necessarily oil driven. Aussie dollar up 88. That is a pretty nice substantial move. Euro pound 28 again, showing that pound strength kind of rolling back in again. Again, I think that kind of makes sense with everything, right? I don't know. I feel like this is like one of those like Harry Potter jokes, just because like everything in the last like 48 hours for me for some reason seems like a Harry Potter joke. But I feel like we're not even going to mention someone's name anymore because she was only there briefly. It's kind of like a temporary stay. She's going to be known as the seesaw politician, right? On again one day, off again the next day, and then out the next week. So can you really mention? I mean, it's the shortest run ever. I feel like she will become like that who shall not be mentioned, right? Now that there's a new person in, there's always positive feeling and everything. I feel like this makes sense, right? It makes sense. I don't think much has really changed in the UK or anything, but I get it. Stability, it's always good for the pound, and then particularly, obviously, again, we're looking for, we're really looking for some stronger movement in the yen. Again, you're seeing it here, and it's like, oh, is that the yen? Nah, it's a dollar right now, but I think it comes again. All right. Now, Waller speaking later today, I don't think is going to be a big one. Now, this says, and again, important to point out, it's talking about digital innovations, payment evolution, and the future of the U.S. final landscape in Las Vegas. And if you're looking at this, it's like, oh, digital innovations? Do you mean cryptocurrency? Probably more like the digital currencies than anything else. There'll be some there'll be some movement, some mention of kind of like what regulation looks like, why it needs to be regulated. But I'm assuming this is more kind of that central bank digital currencies that everybody has in. Again, remember, China is killing us on that one. China's already well ahead in testing. It's already out there. Again, they are leading the way where we are following. And they're like, well, we want to make sure we get it right. It's like, well, as a leader, sometimes, right is what you make it, right? Remember, history is written by the victor, right? We're losing. So they are writing and giving guidelines to other countries at this point, and we're sitting back and not doing anything. And what's interesting about this, again, remember, this is not really Waller's. I don't want to say Waller's thing, right? But remember, Bernard was the crypto queen, right? Coming in hardcore. We're going to get it. We're going to regulate it. We're going to stuff it out. We're going to do all this other stuff. And yet now we have somebody else that's ranked as an orange talking about digital innovations and a payment evolution. So yeah. So something to think about. We may actually, maybe Waller picks up that mantle and starts to run with it. So, interesting talk. And then tonight we have some CPI data. Always great. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Quarter over quarter CPI. Still positive, but starting to maybe not accelerate as fast. And again, this data has tended to be off lately. The trimmed, and again, if you're not sure what the trimmed, it's different. This is basically excluding the 30 most volatile items, which is fine, which gives us kind of more of that core. 1.5 is the same as it was before. And remember, the Aussies raised a few times. It's kind of like, still not slowing down. We're not at a rate. We're not at a place where it's turning around. Yeah, Amanda Waller, right? I don't know. I feel like could we not talk about how most of the Fed members could be comic book characters? Right? I mean, I feel like there's a certain level of comedy in the things they say, right? Mr. Transitory, like I feel like there could be an entire Fed comic strip, right? So let's see what this is. Hold on. The EU members agree to make joint gas purchases. Yeah. So I think what they're attempting to do here, and again, I haven't read this fully, but when you start talking about joint gas purchases, what they're trying to do is kind of use the insurance model where they spread the risk over many states. And when you have a bigger purchase, you have more purchasing power. It's kind of why people are like, oh, go buy drugs from Canada, right? Well, the Canadian government is who buys it from the pharmaceutical companies, so they have a cheaper rate for it than what kind of all the hand-me-down places here have. Kind of the same thing. When you buy in bulk, everybody Sam's Club, BJ's, right? When you buy in bulk, you get it cheaper. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, looks like that's what they're trying to do here. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I mean, at the end of the day, for the natural gas story, it's going to come down to is the winner an average winner, or are we going to get hit with a cold one, right? If we suddenly get hit with a cold one and there's freezing temperatures beyond what was forecast, then again, we know what forecasts look like. That's where that market gets insane. And people start, we've already seen 15% cutback in power usage, which I think I don't think that's a bad thing, right? If you think about it, right? So, we'll see. But this is also data tonight. I think this could be a pretty decent news release to trade. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we have Canada. And Canada is forecasted to raise 0.75. So, again, bringing Canada up into the 4% range, I think that's pretty decent, right? That's pretty nice. Kip's in the hallway on. Bah, 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 bah. Jen's still totally passed out. She was supposed to be at school 15 minutes ago. Totally passed out. It's going to be a fun day today. And Reese is homesick. So, yeah. But this 4%, again, like I said, some of this is baking in right now. People are like, whoa, look at this. They're raising a 4. Wow. Yeah, they are. And again, it's why, again, the United States is not going to fall behind on this one. You're not going to say that, Canada's economy is in a better off position than ours, right? There's no way. No way. So definitely we're going 0.75, and the question is, do we follow up with another 0.75 or 0.5 or whatever it is? I don't think the Fed truly knows yet. I think they have a plan. I think the plan is 2.75s, but we'll see. But again, nice little data. Understand that it's already projected to be there. If it comes in, it was already baked into the cake, right? So again, don't go in there being like, yep, it's 4, short. Be cautious. It's already expected. The market's already starting to adjust to it a day in advance, 24 hours ahead of time. There. And then new home sales dropping. Again, a couple more friends making videos talking about how the market's as hot as it's ever been. And then real estate, people that are in mortgages and like, no, it's always a great time to buy. It's like, I know you guys are putting on a front, but then the next day you put a meme about how, people looking at the industry here, and here. I'm like, yeah. Hard life. Feel bad for them. It's all about timing. So again, tomorrow morning should be decent. I do like this one. I think this is more of a market moving piece tonight. I think this is a better trade setup if you guys are around at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I think that's good. Tomorrow morning, like I said, I think a lot of this is baked in. The new home sales be kind of a nice to know, but the press conference at 11 o'clock and even really this rate statement kind of tells us what's going to happen next. If there is a big surge in the CAD strength tomorrow, it will be from the BOC rate statement, okay? Not necessarily from the actual rate change itself. It's what's coming next because the market's got this. We good, right? We good. It's funny. We just talked about the Chinese real estate sector like last week, and now like, oh, why they won't bail them out? It's like, they don't care. It's not real anyway. More capacity, Japan, over the Japanese intervention. Got it. We need to retain oil capacity. That one keeps popping up a little bit. Chart says the UJ could be peaking, Jim Cramer says. I know Cramer is technically, if you look at his trade ideas, he's more wrong than he's right. And, it's been an albatross around the neck of the world. He said it could begin to peak soon. I really think it depends on if they do the 0.75. That'll put us at such a rate that there will be central banks looking to cash in on that one, particularly versus the yen. Again, CDs are not paying 4%, 5%. If we're up in somewhere in that range where you can make 4% on your money, big money will go there because it's not like you're getting crap for bonds right now. So, yeah, it's nice to say that it's peaking soon, but if you go with his historical percentages, he's wrong more than he's right. So, we'll see. But I would agree. The dollar, it is very high up here. Not as high as what it has been, right? 114 is much higher. But again, we are starting to, kind of push back down again. And we're seeing it really start to kind of, deteriorate from that 112. We're back at the 111 mark right now. And the 110 number is sitting right there as a psychological number. So I will say we have finally kind of broken through here. Again, we were riding this kind of sideways moment with tops and bottoms. Not a moment, but I mean, really back to I don't know, like Thursday, we were really kind of just right back and forth and really been unable to get out of. And, if we look at our most recent peaks, top and bottom for the dollar, right, you can talk about, well, here's kind of the top of the curve, right? There's kind of the top, and the bottom is kind of, and again, it's a tested bottom, is right down here, right around that 110, and we're coming back to that side. So remember, talking about the curve, right, when we have tops and bottoms and kind of where the trend is, right? Top 30%, more of an area where we want to sell. And you can see every time I popped in the top 30%, it based. Then I spent a lot of time in this middle 30%, right? Yeah, it's no man's land. And now we're back in the bottom side again. So question is, are we more bullish biased, right? And again, we're going back into more interest rate rises. Is the market really kind of pushing it down right now because it wants to pop? I'd say that's probably more of the case. So just keep that in mind. And the VIX continuing to push down. And again, there's not really a whole lot of news we're necessarily worried about it. I mean, if you think about it, what's going on, we're like seeing manufacturing drop down. We're seeing all the, the manufacturing and the services PMI all basically showing contraction. Again, we're coming up to the elections, right? Coming up to elections. Is this going to be a slump before a burst, a boom, right? So VIX down slightly, again, with that being down and not really popping. Again, the indices are in the green today. Commodities all in the green today. And again, that's probably more the dollar being, down 1% than anything else out there. And again, do we want to see commodities all in the green? Not really. It's not really the best. But again, looking for outliners, that natural gas one is up pretty big. So let's look at currency. So you can see right here, again, strong movement up in the overnight, really starting at 6:30 this morning. This is one of those runs from last week. Let's pull some of these off. We don't need that one now. That one's off. You can see the 61.8 is live. Let's draw a new zone right there. There's a 1 top on it. Let's bring it to there. So I would say this is actually probably a decent rollover point, only because we've had so much movement since really that 5:30 is right there, right? I mean, it dropped down at 5:30 and then held till about 7, and then we're up 82 pips. Okay, that's a decent amount of movement. I'm not fully a daily ATR, but again, that's a lot of movement, very, very fast at 7 o'clock in the morning. And if you look to see this morning, well, what was causing that? Man, there's nothing really, right? Not a lot. Pound industrial euros, what? No major things here. So again, without any major economic news, any headlines or like that are typically easily retraced. So I would say this is a zone that there could be a potential reversal. It's already been up here once, so understand that. Again, it was a 1 candle top right around the 61.8. It's about 15 pips worth of risk on there. So, is it a decent level? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not fresh. It has been hit before in the past. But 1 to 3 only brings it right back to there. It's not even a full retracement of the move early morning. So I would say that... technically these are green, but I mean, even to there, if you want to throw 2 in, I would say that, look, there's the big spike. You can see both those are well past where the 1 to 3 is. Not a bad reversal time. So again, it is only 950. It's got a little bit more room to run before we hit that 1030 reversal, but that's absolutely where it could turn, roll, and then come back to the downside. So, keep that on your radar. And again, this is below, but you can see this old level where, we had mentioned this before, where it was like, yep, there was your Harry Potter trade. It came down and grabbed that profit target and then came up. You can see it was long off here and then hit it again and went up and then hit it again and went up. So, we know we got sellers sitting right in here. So if you are going to continue to hold this beyond those 2 targets, 162.81 would be a very, very smart place for you to get out of this one if you end up taking this one short. Now, if this zone does break, we do know that it is kind of backstopped a little bit right here. If it goes beyond that, it does have more room to run up. So it's all right. Like I said, I think either of these 2 is probably decent areas to short. If you wanted to wait for a confirmation entry, wait for a color change where there's a red, green, red coming in like this. And then you should be able to run it all the way back again. But I would say based off of the time, based off the movement in the pre-market today with really lack of any news and only potential headlines, it is set up in more of a reverser style trade. Now, also again, may say, okay, what's going on here, right? Well, ALCN did the same thing, kind of at 7 o'clock, it ran up, and we talked about this kind of coming down, and it did. You can see it came down, missed it by a little bit, went a little bit lower, kind of found this area and kind of established itself as a new base. So let's clear a lot of these profit targets and things off. It's funny, you can see it did come in and grab that level just a little bit deeper. Right now, let's see. Let's run this from the top. Really need to draw it to here because once that erased back up again, you change the trend. You can see this is pretty painful for 23.6 traders. You're like, yeah, because remember, this touch right here, I guess actually it did touch there. There you go. But if you try to use the new low, yeah, didn't work out well. It's like, oh, it got stopped out. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. Yes, yes, yeah. I told you. See, I knew it. Oh, God. Right? So a little hard. And you are going to have to mark an area off right here. Right? We do know that there's something going on there. There's a 50% there. So, again, Aussie yen is also in a similar situation. It is driving up. It is at an area where it's like, there's probably going to be some sellers up there. And what does the Aussie dollar say? There's also sellers sitting right there. So, potentially we have an area where we're going to have a reversal. And then, again, maybe we have Aussie weakness in preparation for tonight's data. Right? Again, a lot of pre-positioning for that one. I'm interested to see what this consumer confidence is. Because right now, again, the consumer is still spending. But, not to the same level. Same push, right? 8:30 this morning, same push. Right up. And we're going back to parity. So, again, we ended up getting the chop down here. Let's see. Do we want to run it all the way down? Yeah, we can run it all the way up. I mean, this is kind of a lazy draw. I say it's lazy because, yes, here's the bottom. But once we started this, we were in a new trend. So it's not really the same trend. I guess really, we technically should draw it off of here, right? It technically should be drawn off of there. But is this a parabolic move? Yeah, absolutely, right? We're up 107 pips, right? 107 pips. The daily ATR is 117. So it's moved almost an entire area up. And you can see, we know that, we have sellers coming in here, right? We know we got sellers coming in. Kind of confirmed. We are past the 78, so we can delete that one. So I would say kind of the same thing. We're kind of getting to that extent, a little bit overextended time. It is close to the 10:30 reversal time as well. So not a major area of risk. Let's see. Hold on. Before I say that, 18. It's not horrible, right? 18 is not bad. And then when we do that, once if we pull up into there and we go back and touch parity again, because parity would be a big deal. People be talking about it. All of a sudden, look down here. Look at all that basing. Look at this pullback, right? Boom, 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 boom. And it happens to be the 50. So, again, this is more forecasting on the other side. But you could say, hey, listen, there's a zone right there that looks pretty decent. It kind of coincides with this old zone. And again, remember, the old zones can carry over and show us areas where those new ones formed. But it kind of looks like there could be something right there. And this guy did it here. I remember we drew this last week. This is an old one. Let's pull it off. That one hasn't broken yet, but it's still there. Yeah, so it looks similar. Again, we need the dollar to run into something and look for a turn and flip. But again, parabolic move, 8:30. 8:30 this morning. This one took a little bit longer to go, but yeah, looks very, very similar. And euro pound. So euro pound. We did not get a Harry Potter entry on this one. And again, this was really super, super early morning. We came down and we did some basing, and it's like, oh, wait a second. This is giving us, once it established this kind of base here, it's like, all right, now we got to adjust this slightly. So here's our adjustment. I would say we're going to put it down and use the kind of 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. None of these were actually entries because they always pulled right back up into the zone. They never gave us the basing like we like. So now if we adjust it sideways, we can say, okay, listen, well, there's the new base. And it may bounce. It may use this level here to bounce off of, but can it make it all the way down to here? It's close. It's close. This is a lower low here than this pullback. So we know that overall, there's a big run right here with one little hiccup, which is right here, right? There was that one little hiccup. So, and that hiccup has been breached. So, yeah, I would say that this one is still probably valid. We just need to adjust it. We are kind of coming up at that level right now. And again, we'll see if we continue to push down on this one. It would be a break of, 86.63, right? And all it is kind of chopping through. And again, you can see it's hit. It's eating through this level. It's breached the 50. I mean, it didn't even slow down there. It's finding these buyers at the 61.8. But once those guys go, all the way back down again. So, not a bad little runner. How much is this one? 30. It's a 10 for 30. So it's not a horrible position. Top is still valid here. That it hasn't changed since last week. Okay. All right. Euro yen. So euro yen. This is kind of where we drew it last week. I mean, I haven't touched this chart. So I would say right now, let's see, run this up. Really needs to be here. Yeah, I would agree that the 23 is something in there. Here's where the profit target goes to. Cycle this across. I actually do like I do like the formation of that candle up top. Let's bring that across. Obviously, this Harry Potter is all the way through. It did pull back up, but it missed the pullback. So it's kind of like if you took it on the initial drive through, you're good. Honestly, right now I kind of like this one long. Obviously, sellers here, and then it came up and really pushed it to the brink and turned again, and then hit and then drove again. There's nothing here. I would say really for this one right now, I'd more be looking for this. Right, we know I like the formation. I like the shape of that candle. I like how it came up, formed that one top base, and then just like collapse. And we know what the collapse was. This is Friday, right? This is that kind of the intervention coming through. That's what it looks like. Not even that far. I mean, it's 24 for 75. Again, 75 is a little bit, but this pair's been moving. It's the daily ATR on the euro yen is 190. Right? This is calling for 75. It's half that. It's not that bad, right? It's basically a 4-hour ATR, right? So again, earlier in the week, this is a Friday. I mean, we normally get this trade set up on a Friday, which is not good, but it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. These are decent ones. So I would say that's probably not bad. Let's set this up here. Actually, we'll put this on the bottom, and then we'll put this one here, and then we'll change the colors. Right there and right there, 148.14. And again, it's just because I really like this top. I know why this top happened, but I like the fact that it was a one candle base showing it as telegraphed, and then boom, all the way to the downside. So that's good. I like that one. It's not bad. It's good. Good. Dollar US. So again, same burst that we're seeing on everything else. 8 o'clock this morning. Let's see. This one is 190. And the daily ATR is 206. So we're kind of getting back there. And you can see we had a touch here on Sunday night, 6 p.m. at the open, right? We tagged it at the open and then continued to deteriorate down again. And that's kind of what we were looking for was a Sunday night open. Let's get rid of all these. Actually, 50, I can move it a little bit. This one all the way down, 78, pull that off. That one is still good. I guess technically we can raise it a little bit. It doesn't really change much for me on that. I'm going to leave it here just because it, do I need it? No, I'm going to draw here. Yeah, look at this. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And again, it wasn't a 50 when it was over here, right? Those are not 50s. Now it's a 50. But I still like the fact that it is, again, playing with this level that we had mentioned, hey, listen, taking a short from, gives us a definable level of risk, which I kind of like. Again, the base, the pop, and then boom, didn't pull back to it. So I would say if you are looking for a short in this position, actually, you know what? I'm just going to delete that one. If you are looking for a short, obviously your profit needs to be taken right here. Okay. But again, this is a parabolic move. Parabolic moves, we're always looking for parabolic retracements. Let's pull some of these off. All right. What do we got up here? Actually, don't need that. Let's see. Ugh, a lot of chopping back and forth in here. This is pretty ugly. I hate this. Up, boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Why do this to me? 115.20. I'm gonna drag these across just because I think all three of these could actually potentially be a reversal. That was the old top. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. We know we got some levels just a little bit farther. Again, 10.03. Could this be where we're getting that reversal? I mean, again, consumer confidence just came in. Let's see actually what it is. Ooh. Not great. Not great. I don't think this was not unexpected. Um, 102 is not horrible though. I know this looks really, really bad. You're like, wow, look at this. We're 108 before. Now we're 102.5. Honestly, 102 is not horrible though. I mean, if I click it, you guys can. Whoops. No, it's not going to give me the history. Ugh. And a lot of these, look, I get history. I click this one. No history. No history for you. Yeah, 102 is not actually that horrible of a number. It is less than expected, so obviously it's going to change things. And look, you can see right now in a 30-minute, not moving much. Not moving much. So the question is this going to be a retail trader trap? Are they going to see all these things come in? And again, everybody trying to sell the dollar right now after this large rally, large drop in the dollar anyway. This is where reversals happen, right? Everybody knows the dollar's weak. Yeah, but the dollar was already weak. So yeah, not bad. I mean, I think the euro ones. I think I like the euro ones a little bit better. I mean, these are about 20 pips worth of risk on there, but we're getting the top now after a parabolic move. This is like screaming, take me short. I mean, it's literally. I mean, for all intents and purposes, with this top right now. Look, it's already like, let's put this top in, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right. So I mean, it's there. Right. It's like, wait a second. It's disappointing. It was bad. It's bad for the dollar. But why is it turning red? What's going on? It's because, again, everybody and their brother's trying to get short, but they've already ran the price all the way up. So, yeah, I mean, it's screaming short. It's screaming short. Like, we got the yen close to something. Oh, no. There's your zone. I mean, again, the zone's already been hit once. All right, zone's already been hit once. I mean, the original trade setup is already out. I mean, again, we hit it here, got front run here, front run, hit it again, and now we're hitting it again. Again, this 170 level is a big level. This one's already a little bit too deep, but again, this is 30 pips worth of risk for 90 pips in the other direction. The daily ATR on this one right now is up at 298. That is a little bit overextended. The 4 hours 113. So again, a 90 pip. What is this? 91 to the downside is not really that much. It's less than a 4-hour bit of movement. This one is not bad too because it is kind of that parabolic move with the yen. I kind of like to see the dollar reinflate, which should shoot the dollar yen up, which should show some weakness over here. Well, I don't know because that should turn and flip these two. They're holding right now. It's moving a little bit, but not tons. I think that data was already baked in because there's just not the movement over here. Yeah, I mean, this is an old level, not fresh. It is a little bit deep. If we get a pullback over here, it may show that we're coming back down. If you are going to get short the pound yen, again, make sure that your profit taking is occurring right here. It's not going to go much deeper. There's no point in taking that risk down lower. There is a little hiccup here, but I don't think I'd worried about it as much. I think really the start of the move down here is really going to be the big piece of it. It's probably... Let's see. Again, this is one of those kinds like, do I do it from here? Do I do it from here? Do I do it from here? If I take really the true basing, yeah, you can see that it's wedged between the 50 and 61. There will be people, particularly here, where the bot. See this how this candle closed and closed and open right on the 61.8. That's going to be an area where there'll be people that are jumping into this one. So get out a little bit early. Be a bit more conservative on the exit. If you're interested in taking this one short, it's average. It's kind of like, yeah, I think there's risk in it. What I like most about it is, again, it is 10:07. So it is at a time where it's like this is where things reverse, especially after a monstrous move in price. So I mean, this is where you guys get in. But it already has left the area, which means you're increasing your risk on the trade a little bit. And I don't like chasing things once it's already started to roll. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. Kind of the same scenario. You're like, wait a second, that was weak news. What the heck is this doing going higher? Well, it was already in an area over here that there were buyers. And I think this is an old one. Actually, no, this is not. Right below. No, it's right above. So, yeah, so this is, it's probably off this one. Yeah, it's probably off that one, but that's okay. Let's pull these off. That one went down. That one up. Let's pull this. Pull this. Let's pull this. Change in trend. Oh, that's a change in trend. So we're going to go from here down. Let's see what we've got. I think it's important to point out what happens right here at the 50. Again, you had a red, green did not go higher, and then a red close right there, which signals go short, and you can see it was a quite a large short. 100 pips down short. So yeah, quite a large one. But again, strong movement, decent top in there. Again, I typically like when the wicks are shaped the other direction, not spiking up and then dropping. I like when it spikes and then there's a couple down and then goes. But I still think that's an important level to watch out for. Looking to get some shorts in here at 137.29. Again, you would have already been short technically from this area based off of where it was with kind of everything. So it would have been more the opposite end, kind of getting the trade. It's at a level right now where I would say if it's going to reverse today, this would be where the bottom is. It makes sense. Again, huge push and price down. It should have been your target first, not necessarily a number one entry. We're kind of looking for a little bit of a base. So again, just like this, how we had the red, green, red here, this could be a green, red, green, kind of confirming that you're not getting the same pullback in an increased high. But I do like this one in reverse, particularly because, let's see, oil is up, which is probably helping this, the dollar weakness and the oil thing. But with that data, consumer confidence going down, that's one of those kind of demand side. I don't want to say demand side because again, confidence down, people aren't going to spend as much. That should help kind of tame oil just a little bit. Which again, taming oil weakens the CAD. The CAD weakening would again, parabolic move, weak oil, weak CAD. That should help us get this back up, back into the 137 range at least. Dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss is running into the same thing. If you take a line, you draw it and say, okay, listen, there are buyers that stepped in here. How do we know? Because the price didn't go any lower. And that's the exact same buyers that I just ran into. Very, very similar trade setup. And again, if I bring this across, you can see we knew this is where buyers were. There's some choppiness in here. It's still chopping through that. Again, this yellow in the middle, which is just parity. Here, let's put it on the right side. To the right side. There we go. Yeah, I'd say this one's kind of the same thing for the reversal, but I like that. I like the other factors that are being involved with the dollar CAD better, right? And the euro dollar and the Aussie dollar actually, I think are all better. I don't feel like the Swiss right now. It just had a big move, so it should chop back and forth a little bit more now. I would say overall, I do see this one coming back up into the one, but as far as today go, I think the Aussie dollar in particular is a little bit better of a setup. Let's see, dollar yen. Yep, seeing that. Yep, makes sense. Again, this is what I was talking about with the yen. It's like, yeah, we're getting some yen strength here, but if the dollar really starts turning and rolling, and as it should, right? I mean, there's buyers stepping in here, and it's the same buyers, and it's starting to be green. It is 10:30 in the morning. It was a big push down. Yeah, 130 pips, right? Daily ATR is 170 on this one, which is huge for the dollar yen. But again, that's because of things like this, right? I mean, just so you guys know, too, the intervention time, we talked about this and we drew this top. I don't know if you guys remember this. I drew this up here and I was like, look, this could be the new top. And then, like, literally an hour after we got off, it moved 566 pips. So remember, your ATR is based off a certain number of days previous, right? That's how it comes up with what the average is for the average true range. And again, depending on the type of ATR you're doing and what data you're using, whether it be a simple or an EMA, those things, kind of putting more weight on more near term versus long term. A 566 pip day does kind of jack with the, it is when it's like 3 or 4 times more than the regular ATR, it does kind of skew the data just a little bit, right? So just, understand that it's not truly a 170 daily ATR right now. That is not 100% accurate. It may be what the mathematical average is, but that's why there's things like trimmed where you remove the most volatile, like, you take the top and the bottom one off, right? To get a more kind of consistent average. Yeah, it's not actually, it's not actually 170. It's lower than that. But again, finding buyers in here, I say this one probably comes up. I think 149 kind of makes sense. Again, that kind of seemed like it was a stabilization point, and with this big move down, that was quite a large bit of movement. But we called it last week, like, hey, listen, it's coming in here somewhere. I don't know where the image is, but it's here, and it's like, look at this. We're at 152. This is important to note too. Interventions typically come in around round numbers. Let me see, what do you mean round numbers? Well, 150, big round number, and you can see that it had some problems here, right? The last time there was other interventions, look where all the big pieces are. They're always at big numbers. There was a 149 where actually it was kind of right up in here, right? We saw this with this piece. This monstrous move, it's like, all right, where's the trigger going to be? It was at 152, right? We talked about 150 being big. You know, before in the past, they talked about 130, they were going to intervene. 135, they're going to intervene. It doesn't have to be right on the 0 or the 5, but it's going to be on something that ends in 00. And again, 152 was the that we're pulling the trigger. So I don't think this trade is over yet. Again, I think the U.S. probably needs to back off for it some more, but you know, right now I would say this is kind of the reason why I didn't necessarily like the pound yen or the euro yen as much as something like the euro dollar. I think the euro dollar, the pound not so much, but the Aussie dollar, euro dollar, I think were better trade setups for the dollar reversal for today. Okay. Let's see, Bitcoin. Yep. I mean, again, dollar crashed during that time period. You would expect this to go up. It is above the magical 19,000 number. We'll see what Waller says. I think Waller will have some play in this one today. Although the way that it's topping right now and knowing what the dollar is doing, I would say that this is more kind of set up for a short. But maybe Waller mentions, you know, regulation helps this one go a little bit. Ethereum also above the magical 13,000 number. Gotta love it for Ethereum. And again, that nice little bottom there, 13. But also we're starting to see something that could potentially look like a top. I like when the candle heights are different, right? I like when the peak is the high one and then it goes lower. Not quite there yet, but again, this is a parabolic move. If you look at the 4-hour daily, everything else, this is a lot of movement in a very short period of time. Very similar to this, right? Huge burst up. Once we got the trigger, it rolled all the way back down to the start of the move, meaning that Ethereum most likely probably coming over here. And again, it doesn't matter what chart it is, they're all the same. And then Dogecoin right here. Kind of the same thinking. It is above 6. Again, 6 is a magical number, but there's obviously a lot of buyers right up where it is right now at that 60.94. So but watch out for it. Speaking of having something that works for everything, and again, dollar weakness, TLT up. I would say that this is probably, again, we've talked about trading traditional options, particularly in retirement accounts. When you see a spike like this in TLT, particularly where it's at, this is where you start saying, well, wait a second, is this one of these spikes, right? Because remember, you raise interest rates, bonds go down, right? Are they going to raise interest rates? Yes. But remember they say, you know, get in on the pullbacks. This is a nice opportunity. And I'm going to say right now, I mean, a lot of these things, when we talk about cheap entries into things, you know, well, if you see where like kind of some of these round numbers are, 95 is right there and 90 is right there. So you may say, wow, that seems like a big move in the chart, right? Well, I mean, again, options, there's weekly things. I mean, I'm just taking a standard day, right? This is an easy day, right? It's about the same as all the other ones in a day, right? There's one day. There's 2 days, okay? If you are setting up and again, I'm not going to give it all to you because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, Brian said do this, right? Because these are not trade recommendations. If you guys understand how to trade options, particularly on ETFs, right? Particularly on ETFs, something like this that is boxed in between the 95 and the 90, there are different types of spreads that you could trade to take advantage of downward movement that make it cheaper because you're covering two different sides. Because you are covering this side and you're covering this side. All right? When you have things that are bracketed off like that, those are pretty nice, right? Those are pretty nice. So, yeah, again, I'm not teaching that content. I'm just saying on a technical basis, looking at this chart, knowing that there's a gap sitting right here, right? I mean, if this was any other chart, we just said, oh, there was a gap and it finally fought its way back up to the gap, you'd be looking to get short. The fundamental factors that drive into TLT are the exact same. So, again, this kind of goes back to the statement I just made, and I kind of hinted to it again. Yeah, it's funny. There is a guy on YouTube, right? He's a guy that I've like questioned. Like he is one of these guys that is an absolute master marketer, right? And he's like, yeah, I got this thing. Here's a trading strategy. Here's the best one. You got to do this one. And he gets like thousands of views on. Like when I say thousands, I mean like 50, 100,000. A video of his from like 3 years ago. We just recently posted a video that says, yeah, I came clean about why I've left the forex market, And like, the title is like, I've lost 85% of my money before I pulled out and I wanted to come clean with it. It's like, yeah, you're just a marketer, Think about the millions of people that have watched your garbage, So anyway, I just thought it was ironic and I saw it. I'm like, wow. I was like, this just goes to show you, some of these people out there are just unbelievable. But again, chart is a chart is a chart is a chart. If you don't believe me, you have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. So again, doesn't matter what this is. All the symbols in here show me that, hey, listen, there are sellers there. There's a big imbalance of price. And then when you know how to trade something like options, 95 to 90, there are things that you can do with that range to make some pretty decent money with a pretty easy entry. I don't know if his name's Marcus, to tell you the truth. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. He just pops up because obviously, with trading, they're like, oh, you may like this guy too. You may like this guy too. And you see the views, and I'm like, what does he have? Because I love those people. This is the only entry you need. When I did this is how I bought my Ferrari. It's like, oh, okay, sure, sure, yeah. I mean, obviously, are there people out there that are able to do that? Sure, there are. There are some people out there that are like, oh, watch all my trades live. It's like, okay, great, sure, right. So every one of your students is making millions and millions and millions of dollars because they're doing it with you, right? There are some guys out there that can do it, and I give them all the credit in the world for it. But it's funny, I've done it long enough now. You watch some of these guys, and it's really, really funny to watch them because it's like, I bought my dream car, and it's like, wow, and you only had it for 30 days. That sounds like a great, realistic, experience that everybody should do. Buy your dream car for a 6-figure, price tag, and then sell it in less than 30 days. Yeah, you made a deal on that one, dude. Yeah, it's like you rented the car for a month magically, and now it's gone. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and he got called down on it too, and magically, like, those comments disappeared. Like, people were like, "Dude, you rented the car. I can get this car next month. Your dream car for only 30 days, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you spend $180,000 on a car to own it for 23 days. No, come on. I call it bullshit. Anyway, oil. So. Oil taking off again. Now, there was some comments from Saudi Arabia this morning, and I think it's important to talk about that. Coming in about 2 hours ago. Again, that would be around 8 o'clock window. If you look at this one, when it moved around that 7:30, 8 o'clock window. So, in the continuing kind of drama back and forth again. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw it. I did post it in the Discord channel. Turkey also has made comments now against the United States. So we've had France do it. Saudi Arabia's done it. Turkey's like, the United States should not be, or Biden should not be bullying other countries. That is wrong. It's nice now that other countries are allies. Turkey's our ally, absolutely, calling Biden a bully in the energy markets. I think it's very telling. Okay, these people are like, he's been the best president we've ever had. Really, 40-year high inflation, and we've had multiple ally nations now call out the United States. Well, Saudi Arabia is no longer a friend of ours. We know that. We need to retain, spare oil capacity. And look at this. The kingdom is, and again, I just clicked on this. The kingdom is well known to be a friend of all. We have a fantastic relationship that go back 90 years with the U.S. and other economic relationships with the U.S. are second to none, and that's hopefully growing and not retrenching. It's funny that the United States is like, you guys are forcing other people to do stuff. Does that sound like a relationship that's going, again, are the Saudis playing the political card? No. The Saudis are playing, I'm in this to make money. But yet the United States is accusing them of siding with Russia and forcing smaller nations to do things. You see how they're taking the high road. We don't care. We have a great relationship with all. We just want to make money, guys. It's all about making some moolah, right? So, interesting. Using emergency stocks may be painful in the months to come. Yeah, you know what he's saying? Hey, we're trying to stabilize the market. You trying to release the strategic oil reserve is not helping stabilize the markets. You're making this worse. Tend to agree. People are depleting their emergency stocks. People. When he says people, you know who he means? Yeah, I don't need to say it. People are depleting their emergency stocks and using them to manipulate the market when their original purpose was to alleviate supply shortages. Is he wrong? Please. Give me that meme with the dude at the college drinking the tea or whatever it is. Change my mind. He's not wrong. We're at the lowest we've been in 40 years. We've depleted 30% of it already. And again, it's original purpose. And again, right now, if the Gulf has to shut down because of a hurricane, we actually don't have enough. We are actually below what they forecast we would need if we needed to shut the Gulf down because of a natural disaster, right? He is not wrong. This is not biased. He wants to sell money. He wants to sell oil. Sure, absolutely. But he is 100% correct. And because of this data, and the people are looking at this going, you know what? You're not wrong. Now, normally I would say, oh my God, there's a parabolic move. Short the heck out of this one. And it's not really an area where we're looking for shorts. There's a few people up there, right? When you run this all the way back up again, right? You say, it's a 23 level, right? Well, not really, right? Because the 23 got broken through. It came all the way down and grabbed the 50. In fact, it came all the way down and grabbed the 61, and then came back up, and it's nothing now because it's already been broke through. And came down and grabbed the 50, and really it's been broke through, so nothing again. And came all the way down and really got to the 78.6. And is it really a retracement when it's just kind of going sideways? No. And look, what's the magic number? There's number one. There's number one. And again, there's an area there. There's number one. There's number two. There's number three. Whoops. There's number three. This is number four. So are we interested in taking the short on the fourth time? Not really. I mean, could it turn here? Sure, it could. But do you want to take this the fourth time it's been there? How many sellers are left in there? We're like, I don't know. I think if anything, this one has the ability to run up. I still like the 87.50. And at this point, I'm thinking that it's 86.50. Could be an area right here, 86.50, right? Actually, 86.65. That's, well, hold on. Yeah, 86.60, right around that range. That's kind of an area where I'd say, yeah, I could see some selling coming in there. But right now, do I want to take this after it's been here higher? Those are all no signs, So, I mean, you could try to attempt to do it, but I think the chances and the probabilities are much lower. I know it's had a huge run up again, but it makes sense why that happened. And again, we see consumer confidence going down, leading us more towards a recession. All the data is recessionary, but why is this going higher? Because this guy is calling out, basically the United States saying that you're deleting all your emergency supply. And the same thing, if we need emergency supply, that's going to jack the price through the roof. And Russia's going to be like, here, you can have some of our oil. We'll sell it to you for really high prices because you were an idiot, right? That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, I really don't necessarily want to get short here. I do think there are some shorts right above. Right, I do think there is just a little bit higher is all we need to go. And again, 1.53 is a decent move in there, but all the data is suggesting on a fundamental basis it does turn and flip. It's just finding the right entry. You don't want to kind of be like, oh, right there yet. No, it's not there yet. Right, natural gas. Also going higher. Now we talked about, and again, these were the marks from last week. We need to adjust some of these back down again. You could see, and again, there definitely could be. This was when we talked about the old kind of bigger frame levels. I'd say there's a kind of a small. Actually, it's probably more there. There's a level there, and we're kind of chopping through it right now. Kind of the same thinking. I mean, we're up 3.43%. We're kind of extended beyond what the standard move should be for today. It is, I would say that natural gas is probably more in a sell unless there's any really kind of big geopolitical events that turn this one. It is kind of at a level. I mean, you could make an argument for this one that, again, price comes back down and really kind of pushes back into this area. But I would say be cautious. I mean, I do think there's a Harry Potter trade sitting right here, kind of a trend continuation to the downside. But there's a lot of chop. And again, there was just one slice down and it got supported. So again, if you are going to get short from this level, it's not bad. I mean, it has pushed it kind of the brink. I'd like to see a red, green, and then a red close to kind of signify that we are in that reversal. We're not there yet. But if it comes back down again, I would say, hey, watch out for this zone right here. Take your profit at 520. But I'll tell you right now, if it drops through 511, there's nothing slowing this one down till all the way, probably conservatively, down here at $4.90. So it's got some movement. Natural gas is an interesting play right now. Now gold, again, look at this. We retraced it fully back up again, so I can take. You can see. Funny, that's where it bounced off of. That was our 830 bounce. Let's pull this, and I just have to reverse it and draw it from here up. You can see, look at that. Tell me it's not a tactical market. Well, it is. It's not. All at the same time. There's the wicks I'm talking about. There's your move. Gold. Guys, this was drawn last week. Actually, this was drawn 2 weeks ago. Yeah, this is drawn on the 13th. There's your peak. This may actually turn and flip on us now because, again, we're talking about that dollar reversal right now, that 1030 reverse. This one may actually come back down again. The unfortunate part of this one is there's not really a decent level. This was such a big wick up to grab that level at 1672. We could draw something, but it would be more of a hindsight. Like, yeah, but look, see, it turned. I can justify where I'm drawing it from. I'm not going to do it, but I can see this one coming back down and really kind of closing down here around the 1640. I do think, obviously, dollar strength comes back in. Again, remember, it's not about what the future necessarily is. Once we get to a certain percentage rate, large money, like big central banks, is like, oh, I can make a 4% return on my money by just depositing in there. Score, I'm doing that, right? That's kind of where we're getting at right now. And again, I mean, how much are we getting otherwise, right? You're not getting anything else anywhere else. And if the markets all go down, if the markets are flat or go down this year, but you can get 4% just by depositing your money into the correct account, you're doing it. I would say bearish this one. I wouldn't be like jump in right now. I think if you were trying to grab the turn, you probably missed it by a bit, as well as it's kind of hard to draw. If for some reason we can pop all the way back up to 16.7025, take that one short. Again, if you are going to get short, I think be a little bit conservative on your egg, and you want to get yourself out right here, which would be. I don't need to take that. Let's see. I'll just do it off this one. It's probably 50. We'll do 50. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, 16. What I say, 16.4250. Get your profit out on a short on that one. Don't run it all the way down to the 16.40. Again, there will be some buyers stepping in here because of the surge. So again, protect yourself on that one. Now, silver, it's double. It's not quite. I mean, it's 0.38 to 0.6. So it's not quite double, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. And again, parabolic move up. I mean, if you really want to, again, the top is the same problem with this one. It looks like this. Again, yeah, there's a 61.8 there. You could have drawn this one and say, well, wait a second, there's a level right here. Yes, there is. There is. But it was pushed pretty deeply here. And again, it actually broke through. But again, there's your red. I mean, you can see right now, if it kind of comes down and gives us a little bit of space, right? If we come into here, could we get this? Yeah, absolutely. And again, kind of the same thinking. Get your profit right there. Okay? Get your profit right there. So all this is that dollar kind of reinflating, dollar reversing. And you may say, well, why would I believe the dollar is going to reverse? I mean, we saw it in the dollar index. We've seen it in the euro dollar, the Aussie dollar. We even saw it in TLT, right? TLT spiked up into a level. Why? Because the dollar weakened, right? As the dollar weakens, bonds go in the opposite direction. They have that inverse relationship. But as the dollar strengthens, as it's showing us that it wants to do right now on all these pairs, particularly in bonds, it should go right back down again. So kind of the same trade up, let's say set up at like 6 different ways that you could trade it. So, take it for what it's worth. All right, let's go to the VIX. VIX, again, deteriorating down, kind of rallying back a little bit. I wouldn't say there's too much in there. Remember, I don't pay for, I don't need VIX for anything really, because of what my wife does. I'm extremely limited on what I can't do anything in the stock market. It's the benefit of having somebody that's in the financial services industry. I love it. I don't work for a broker, right? I work for myself. I don't work for a broker, but yet I carry higher limitations on what I can trade than the senators that are making the rules and regulations. That's fair, right? Totally fair. But anyway, so I don't pay to get my VIX data live. It is delayed by a little bit. I think it's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 15. Yeah, 15. But yeah, I don't need it for anything that I do. Everything else on here is live data. I don't need it for that. So let's drop down to a 15 and we'll kind of see. It's trying. It's, let's see. Yeah, it's a 9:45 window started popping it back up again. Probably in preparation. We're at that 10 o'clock window, so I'm not surprised it's spiking a little bit because it's in the news release time. We already know what the news was. Wasn't great. But let's look to see what the ES is doing. So ES, again, the massive amount of dollar weakness at 8:30, 8:45. It's popping, right? It's popping. As far as opening print goes, opening print was here. So on this one, I would say, again, with the opening print from 9 to 9:30 was going up. I don't actually like this for a short, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 with a little test over it. 9:30 was here. I wouldn't say that this is really set up for long, right? I mean, we've had a zone that's been smashed into a bunch of times. Actually here's the original zone. So we're hit here and 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 hit here. It's like, is it going to hold? Probably not. And it didn't. It did go back up to a level that we had drawn before. Let's see. We had that one drawn. Oh, that was the old level up top over here. The little hiccup here. So, yeah, it would not have been an opening print for me today. Let's see. Would we have taken this? Problem is, this is such a fast drop last week. This is way too big of a zone. This is definitely not a take a reversal when we hit that level. It's just way too big. Just trying to get it in context. This needs to be reversed. That trade is out. We got quite a ways to go until we get to this level. All right, so let's see. Bet you this is going to be a pullback. Do I run it from? Yeah, I need to run it from here. Yep. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Do have 4 hits on it though. Right there. Again, this was definitely, it's not an opening print trade. I'm trying to see for next bit. So we're in a level that was one of those violated levels from the past. It is an area where buyers and sellers will flip back and forth. So as far as opening print goes, no, it would not have qualified for an opening print trade today. Again, it was literally it was close to smashing into a zone that was hit like 6-7 times. Not a zone that we're looking to go and kind of use as a reversal. So didn't really qualify for that today. 8:15 this morning, obviously there's a little bit of play in here into a zone. Again, you can see it here. It came in at 5:30, came into 8:30. Again, it was a zone that was confirmed. I would say if this does turn in reverse, I would say look to take profit. Probably right now, I'm going to have to say, although I want to say down here is where you'd want to take your profit, that 23 is going to supersede it. I would say that move it just a little bit ahead of that 23, that little hiccup in there, that 9:15 candle. You can see the price came up and then kind of just halted. It stopped at 9:15, and then 9:30 it kind of continued its push. So again, right now we don't have a reversal signal, but if this turns red and we get a green that fails to go any higher, you got to be thinking about taking a reversal, taking this one short. Again, could happen at 9:30 or at 10:30, 11. Could be around there. May actually hold flat, and then at 1 o'clock it starts to roll back down again. So, but again, not an opening print. Does not qualify for today. Look to take profit if this one does. If you do take this one short today, 38.0850 is where you'd be looking to take your profit. All right, and Q. Same thing. Look, boom, 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 boom. I mean, first off, I know that it wasn't super fresh, right? Even if you use this zone, again, not the best of draws, but there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, and 9:30 is right here. Are we taking this for a short? No. If anything being that high, you could say if we get a pullback, I'm going long, but definitely not an opening print. So, not what we're interested in. Not what we're interested in. And again, this trade was out there. So let's take that. Let's take this. And again, this top is not even the best. Let's pull this. That long is good. That one was good. Let's pull that. We are above the 78, so I can pull this one now. I don't need that. We'll pull this, although it's kind of been hit a few times. But that would have been a better reversal point, right? This would have been a nice reversal, not fresh, but 11,705. I'd have liked that one. That would have been good. Let's see. Let's draw this from top to bottom. I'm sorry, from bottom to top. And let's see where our things are popping up as. So the old violated zone, again, we could use that one. We'll just cycle it down a little bit. Right, we're going to cycle it into that level. I love this. People are like, oh, look, the 61.8. Yeah, but there's when it hit. There was your high to low. It was more of a 50. Kind of went a little bit low, but not a bad 50, right? Now it's kind of coming up to the 61.8. So I think we need to respect that level because it has... the way that boxed off this impulse correction, I do think we got to respect that level. So that could be an area later in the week that we take a long off of. Let's change that to green. I'm looking at this one right here, and I'm saying, okay, listen, I do think we get a reversal. I would have liked the 11,705. That would have been a much better place to reverse back down again. Obviously, didn't meet opening print, but we're doing more than just opening print on this one. I do think it comes back down. I think take profit target, maybe around the 23.6 again, maybe be a little bit early. What I'm looking for here is like, listen, we got a decent, it was okay base, right? It's hit. It hit again. It kind of leisurely went in. It kind of hit it again and then got that 830 spike. But if we come down in here at base again, you know, could this one come down, grab this level? Because again, there is a level there. Use that level to go up. Again, depends on how deep we push, and then drive us down to the 11,217, right? The way that this formed here, I think that's, you know, if we can get a decent kind of maintain, you know, like basing sideways, maintaining that price level, I think we could have this pattern, bring this all the way back down to 11,217. And again, that could be a decent area to take a buy off of. So, but I do think probably down today. The way that it's looking right now, you do have the red, green, red. The green technically went right to the top of where that red candle started. So it's questionable whether or not you would use that one, but it does have the descending wicks that we like, right? That wick pattern is exactly what we like, and you're seeing it's already starting to roll down. So yeah, I'd look to take profit down here if you're short. YM, let's see, 930 is probably here. Yeah, doesn't really qualify either. It's the same thing. There's your top, right? And again, it's not green. Actually, the other ones are orange. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. This is number 5. Now, this one actually, funny enough, it did cycle through and come back up again, but 930 is right here. Not in an area where we're looking to go short, unfortunately. Um, let's see. Let me set some fibs on this one real quick. Here, down. And again, this is where it touched. It was not a 23 entry. Just so you guys all know, now it is. And now I think it's important that we block this one off. Okay. There is a zone there. It's okay. I don't know that I would have. It is confirmed. I feel like that would have been a trade at 8:30. But again, opening print over here. You're not taking this one short. If anything, you should have been long already. Based off that zone, you would have been long. So no, it would not have been. It looks like today is going to be a no entry for all four. And again, that happens. Some days all four hit, and again, I'd rather you take 0 trades and not lose any money, and then get all four. So it's also trying to reverse. Let's see. I'm going to put a horizontal line on this one, and I'll tell you whether or not it's at an area where we're interested. Again, I'm going to pull some of these old fib levels off. There is a zone. Yeah, you can see there's a hiccup there. I mean, we're kind of at a hiccup level. Would I want to draw it right where it is right now? It's all right. I don't really love it. Right? This one's okay. I mean, I guess you could say that if we could rally to here, there's something, but it's not the formation that I like the best. Right? The shape of the candles, the fact that it spent all that time there. It did pull back, but it was like, grind. Oh, and then boom. Right? It's all right. So I would say that it's very similar to the ES where there is a zone up here. Actually, we can take this one off because we went higher and lower. I got a lot of stuff I got to pull off on this one. All right, let's go full. Let's get some bigger time frame stuff here. 50s right around 3,000. These are all short trades from last week. This on the right side. We want to be consistent with all the other ones. There we go. Did push up. Such a great trade, that one. right to the moon. This one has the same 50% retracement level. I think you need to watch out for it. Again, push it deep. I don't know if I'd automatically take a long off of it, but I think definitely watch that level. I would say that this one has a higher than normal probability of a reversal there. 23.6, again, if we can break through that 23.6 level, there's a decent kind of drop down here. Obviously some buyers stepped in, but we may actually be able to run it. It may be a trade that if we can get a decent base in here with a pullback to that 23, I think we could potentially run down to the 50. Just like the other ones, if it's got a reversal just a little bit farther. This one's really, really trying. It's doing this. Oh God, just do it, guys. I think it's close, but it's not quite ready yet. If this one turns and rolls, I think this is a missed opportunity. But again, not an opening print. Russell 930 is here. Obviously, we're well beyond any of those levels anyway. Again, it's the 830 that it went nuts at 830. So 930 is here. So yeah, definitely the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you're not taking it, but we know that 1800 is a big deal. It is also having issues. It is driven itself up in short succession into an area where we do know we have reversals. And again, 1800 is a big deal, big psychological level here. We've talked about this. We've had this one marked off. So on this one, I would say if you are going to get short and take this down, profit wise, let me see. I'd say here'd be the 2 profit targets on this one. Definitely the 23.6 because again, there's no pullback, and Russell is definitely one of those things that people will get into. I would say there would be profit 1, there would be profit 2. Okay. Do I like the 50 for a long? I'd be very cautious with it. There is a level there, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's on the 50. But look, it's already kind of breached and kind of peeked its head out twice. I don't know how many more buyers can hold that one. And based off of this, with the wick, the higher wick, the higher wick, the higher wick, the higher wick, and then a pop and then a test, we know that there's definitely something sitting here. It may be all of this, but I don't know how big this area is. I'd be very cautious with, trying to get a Harry Potter trade in there because buyers could step in anywhere here on the way. I think shrinking it down and using the 61.8 would probably be the best idea if you really want to get into something long from there. But right now, I would say, again, look for the Russell to turn and flip. It is up the most right now. It is up 2.19, right? It's the strongest right now, but everything is starting to kick back a little bit. That was, the Dow was up, 0.8. Now it's down 0.5. I'm sorry, it's up 0.5. So everything is starting to kick back again. You're seeing red candles across the board. So opening print today, hey, again, no triggers, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with not taking a trade when it doesn't set up the way you like. Again, most days we have 3 or 4 set up. Today, 0. Again, I'm cool with that. Again, it just moved and it had crappy zones. So no point forcing something that's not there. Again, that's how you lose money, and that's not what we're looking to do. I will say, look at this. We're going to get out of here in 1 minute, but here you go. We're in an area right now where you would expect to see sellers coming in for Twitter, right? Again, we've seen a couple of these before, but yeah, level there. Apple is a nice little peak. Again, look at this. All this, 1, 2, 3, and what did it do? It Harry Pottered off that level and took off. Tesla. There's our break, there's our pullback, and there's our continuation. It turned where it should have. Again, 1, 2, 3, broke through, went lower. I'd say Tesla actually probably has some room to run. Again, for those of you that are trading stocks out there, it's got a little bit more room to run to the top side, although it may get drugged down. There obviously is some selling in here, but because of the spike, you would assume that it would go all the way up to grab it. So, it's all right. I really wish I could trade options on Tesla. Yeah. Another one of those regulations. All right, guys, so that's it for today. We went a little bit late. All right, so Eki won the last one. Today is for 50 pip chips because, again, I missed yesterday. I always tack those on to the next day. Who got it? Ernest. Eki going big with 3. That's big for Eki. 2, and then everybody else is 1 in there. Who are we missing? I think we got everybody. 8. Yeah, we're good. All right, so close it down. Winner of today's drawing is Sean. How many did you put in today, Sean? Just one. And again, Eki, you did the right thing. Right? You did the right thing, Eki. That's the way to play these. That's the way to get ahead. Right? And Sean got him with his cheap one. I know. Nero's like, it's rigged. Sean is a contender, guys. I'm telling you. Sean is the quiet northern giant. And again, we should feel bad for Sean because pretty soon Sean will be under 3 feet of snow. It's October. It's almost November. Sean will not see the sun for the next 6 months. Right? It'll be nothing but ice, cold, snow. Frozen tundra. I love that, right? Because it is like the complete wrong thing to say. But you know how those NFL guys, it's the frozen tundra. No, that's, you're basically saying like an ATM machine, right? It's an automated teller machine. No. Sounds like, don't remind me. Yeah, sunny. Actually, it's actually not bad. It's 61, but it's like sort of rainy here, but the temperatures are nice. I think it's supposed to go to 70 later this week, right? So I don't know. But 75 and sunny is nice. Yeah. So, all right, guys. So thank you again. I apologize again for missing yesterday morning. You guys know how it is when the little ones are sick. It's pretty hard. And then again, Melissa was down as well. She's not doing great today, so I'm gonna have to go rescue them and see what Reese is doing. And then, yeah, lots of fun. Anyway, I'll be back on tomorrow morning. I'll catch you guys at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully tomorrow we do have some of those opening print setups that are there. And don't forget, 8:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. This is a great news release. Seeing this move in this direction, especially with all the movement we've seen in the Aussie right now, up 100 pips. Gotta love that. That's exactly what you're looking for, pre-news move this way. And again, the reason why is because the market is factoring all this strength in. The strength comes in, and then it turns and rolls straight back to the downside. So we'll not be surprised if this is in the red tomorrow morning. All right, with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you then.